YouTube Isaac going the Goat House is back with another NFL 2020 offseason rebuild. This video for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Doing this for every single NFL team. We're going to go in draft order. And in this video, I'm playing GM, making some cuts. We're going to look at the cap space situation after those cuts. And then we'll re-sign some players, make some major signings in free agency, and then do a 7-round NFL mock draft. Again, we'll do every single team. A lot to go over in these videos. And then we have two channels now. The second channel, the Goat House Plus, that you'll find a link in the description in the comments. Please subscribe to that. Full NFL content here daily. And there's our Twitter and Instagram. You'll find the link down below as well. Please follow those daily posts there. And then our Patreon link with extra content is in the description as well. First thing I like to do real quick is kind of just go over my thoughts on the team here. Guys in red here are going to be free agents and see where we can get better. So interesting situation with the Jags. What they did at quarterback last year, we'll talk about that. But they do have two quarterbacks that can potentially start. And then looking at the receiver position, I mean, there's some guys I like at the receiver position. DJ Chark really stepped up last year. But to me, it's a position where you can get better. And I do like the offensive line. Something about the Jags I like. Juwan Taylor was a great pick last year. I had a first-round grade on him. And they stole him in the second round. You wish Cam Robinson can start to come along a little more, play a little better, but he's definitely starter worthy. I like this offensive line. Tight end, if you're going to go Nick Foles or really anybody, you wish the tight end spot was a little better in this offense. Defensively, they need help down the middle. The interior defensive line, the interior linebacker position, or just the linebacker position in general, definitely needs to get better. Without Jalen Ramsey, it kind of showed there. So the Jaguars, even though just in an offseason they can get back to easily winning and kind of competing for that division, they do have some holes. But I got a pretty good offseason plan for them here. And we're going to start with some cuts. I mean, the obvious one is declining Marcel Darius' option, which if they don't do, I'm going to be insanely surprised, especially because you can see at the top there, their current cap space situations in the negative $5.6 million. So things have to be done. The good thing is Marcel Darius, cutting him, declining the option saves $20 million. That is a lot of money there. So instantly boost it up. Marquise Lee, I always liked Marquise Lee's game. I think he's a very solid receiver. He just cannot stay healthy. And, looking at what the receiver draft class, looks like and how many picks the Jags got, there's really no reason to keep him around. $5.25 million, let's save it. DJ Hayden, you could get better. There's no reason to keep him around when you're tight on cap and you can save $6 million. Jake Ryan's not a solid answer at the linebacker position where you need to get better. $5.5 million, you're definitely getting better there. Jones for $4 million, I expect to be cut. And then Jeff Swaim, again, need to get better at tight end. $3.7 million is a lot of money, especially when you're in the negative in cap situation. So we actually go from negative 5.6 to 38.8, a little more than that, $1 million. So that is a big, big boost and much needed. So you see, I don't cut or trade Nick Foles. There's really no reason for that. You don't save a whole bunch of money doing that. The way the contract is laid out, it's just, to me, it's really not worth it yet. He didn't really get the fair chance to play last year. Got hurt in the first game. When he came back, he was kind of just thrown back into the situation. I don't see, some people want him gone. Some people don't believe in him. I kind of believe in him. I just don't see it being worth it to cut him right now. I just don't see it. To me, he's my starter next year. That's me. I'm playing the GM in this situation. There's really, if you can save an insane amount of money, then maybe you can go for it. But, then you're kind of back into where you have been, looking for a quarterback. So you got to give the guy a shot, in my opinion. I think he can play, and I think he needs more of that chance. What players do we re-sign? I may surprise some people with this. To me, I don't need to re-sign anybody. We can sit here and list off all the free agents. And you look at Yannick, and it's not that they don't need to sign guys. I just don't think it's worth it. You look at Yannick Ngakoue, and again, this is me playing GM. It's not predictions, but you look at him. They may franchise tag and trade him, and they may try to re-sign him. They've kind of voiced that they want to do that. To me, it's not going to be worth overpaying him. He's kind of made it clear to me that he doesn't really want to be there. He'd rather go elsewhere. I think maybe if he gets that extra money from the Jags, or maybe if he gets the franchise tag, he really has no choice, where he could sit out. to me, I don't want that guy. And to me, he's proved that he's a good pass rusher, but there's been some inconsistencies. His rookie year was, really the best probably. I kind of have an idea of the amount of money he's going to get. I don't really think I want to pay that, especially when you're kind of limited on the cap situation and you got Josh Allen last year and you like Calais Campbell kind of playing more inside. You have the talent there and could get more talent here, in free agency. And, to me, I'm not overspending on that. I don't want the guy that really doesn't want to be here. That's just me. And there's really not, going down the list of the other guys who are free agents, there's really no one that's going to make or break your team. And again, you're limited in cap space. What's the goal in the offseason? For every single team, your goal is to get better. Even if the Chiefs, they just won the Super Bowl, they need to get better. They're going to get better. You need to get better. You're not going to spend your only cap on kind of getting guys back that are, not going to make or break this team, in my opinion. So that's really my thoughts on that. So going into the signings of the new free agents, the new arrivals, $38.8 million is about where you're at. They're looking pretty decent. You wish it was more still, but better than the negative, where you were at. So major signings, I'm looking at a guy like Jadeveon Clowney, and this is me playing GM, but I also think, if he's not on the Seahawks, I would watch out for some of those AFC South teams. I really would. They didn't have the ability to trade for him when the Texans were trying to trade him away, so they maybe they wanted to, but obviously it's not an option there. Texans aren't going to trade him to an in-division rival, so I would look out for some of these teams. I think he's an upgrade over Yannick Ngakoue. People kind of rip his sack numbers. I'm not one of those people. He's already an elite run stopper. He can play multiple positions, and he gets pressure. He gets double out. He gets pressure. He makes his team better. To me, having him opposite of Josh Allen makes a whole bunch of sense. You have the flexibility to kind of move around. Base defense is a 4-3 right now. To me, it could be a 3-4 defense with a look like this. It could be a scary defense. So you go Clowney, and then obviously that's going to take up a lot of your cap. Obviously not all of it. So the rest of them, and are already being limited on cap, isn't going to be major signings here. You do have a lot of draft picks. Don't forget. Kendall Fuller, I like for their slot corner, which they desperately need, but he also can play safety. That's something I like about Fuller. I believe he can kind of play in the back end there. But starting at slot corner for them, in my opinion, and not going to be overly expensive. And then a guy like Tyler Eifert. Nick Foles needs that veteran tight end, that proven tight end, and it could be a 1 or 2 year deal there, not a whole bunch of guaranteed because of the injury concern. But to me, I think when healthy, one of the better tight ends, really. And it's not saying a whole bunch because there's not a whole bunch of good tight ends, but Eifert has been really good when on the field and was for the most part last year. So that's something that, to me, that fits with Nick Foles if they kind of want to go that route, and something they need kind of to pair with Oliver, who they drafted last year, who could start to, be on the come up. But I like Clowney. I like the fit. I like the fit a lot more than Ngakoue, who's been on the Jags and had success on the Jags. I like that fit better, opposite of Josh Allen, and then with Calais Campbell on the inside there. And we go to the draft. I absolutely love this draft. Isaiah Simmons, who's a top 4 on my big board, do-it-all guy. They need linebacker help. He can cover downfield. He's going to be on the field at all times. It's not, it's not one of those guys you got to take off the field, obviously. He's going to get pressure on the quarterback, so adding pressure with the other guys that are going to get pressure. It's a no-brainer at pick 9. Will he be there? That's the question. When I only manually drafted for the Jags in the simulation, he was there. Javon Kinlaw, I really don't think he's going to be there at 20, but there is a chance, as you can see here. And I ended up getting Kinlaw. To me, he's well inside the top 10 players as well. And that'll be big time for them. He's going to get the pass rush, in the interior of the defensive line, and he can get after and he can stop the run. Need another corner, another starting corner opposite of AJ Bouye. AJ Bouye, by the way, there's talks that he could be cut. I just don't see the reason to do so. That was me here. Some people think he'll be cut. I don't see the reason. Jalen Johnson, long athletic corner. One of the better players in that Utah defense, which was very good. I think that'll be a good pairing opposite of Bouye. And then Michael Pittman Jr., that receiver. Yeah, they need that big body receiver on the outside there. And that's what they do here and get Pittman at pick 73. And then they grab another safety, a guy that actually can come out and play in the box, play in the slot as well, Alohi Gilman from Notre Dame. Because they got okay safeties. They could get better there, so he can kind of compete with them. And like I said, they have Simmons. Simmons is a guy that can move around a bit, so you're going to need another linebacker in there. We'll see what's going on with Telvin Smith this offseason. But Backey Jr. from Michigan State, I think it'll be a good fit for them, kind of, maybe the rotation replacement, maybe that Jake Ryan replacement. And then another pass rusher because they need some depth here. They don't have too much of a rotation. Jonathan Garvin from Miami be a good pick down here. And another running back to me, I wasn't a huge fan of Armstead last year, Raquel Armstead. And then Fournette, how much longer is he going to be on the Jags? I'd like to extend him. But you grab another one here in Jermichael Hasty, the running back from Baylor. A little undersized in terms of height, but pretty, runs a lot stronger than that, kind of a rotation guy. And Levante Taylor, a corner from Florida State, who I think has tremendous upside there. Some of those Florida State guys, not coached too well. I think they got a lot of upside, athletic, playmaker type guy. And then it's just kind of, you need corner depth at this point here. So a lot of draft picks. You get instant impact guys there at the top. You get instant impact guys that make your team that much better. So this is kind of the plan I'm going for. Very interested to see what they do with the Yannick Ngakoue situation. Doesn't sound like he wants to be there. Maybe he's trying to drive his price up. I still don't really like that. The interesting thing is the ability to just kind of, play around with his defense. Switch, it's a hybrid defense. It has the potential to be because guys like Josh Allen, guys like Calais Campbell, and who else you can bring in. So, very interesting. They got a lot of work to do. They got a tight cap situation, but it's a team that has the playmakers already and the, ability, mainly through the draft, these picks to kind of turn this team around quickly and get back to where they were. So we'll see what they do here. Again, we're doing every single NFL team going in draft order, so I promise we'll get to your team eventually here. Got the Combine cover coming up. We'll cover that fully. Plenty of NFL content here, so please subscribe to both of our channels. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. You'll find all of those links in the description and in the comments. That's going to do it for this one, though. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Goodbye.